Welcome once again to the Waterfalls of Minnesota documentary. We are on our fourth waterfall heading east and a little bit north to Hastings, Minnesota. Hey, Ed the Komodo Dragon, where are we going? We're going to Vermillion Falls. Everybody listen to Ed the Komodo Dragon, otherwise he will probably bite you. That would be bad. We are at the fourth waterfall on our journey from south to north at Vermillion Falls, located in Hastings. There are an upper section and a lower section of the falls, although that fact is not pointed out in most any article or park information that I came across. Vermillion Falls are located in the Vermillion Falls Park. What a coincidence! And there are a lot of walking and hiking trails in the park. And one of the particular paths are designated as part of the Rails to Trails system, where old rail lines have been redesignated as bike, hike, and walking trails. They're also about, I'd say 200 to 300 yards, if not more, downstream. There has been, at one point in time, another working mill along the Vermillion Falls, further downstream. That would be the Ramsey Mill. Well, the Ramsey Mill is no longer fully in existence. That section next to the Ramsey Mill had a smaller waterfall that was about 19 feet in drop elevation and about 50 feet across. They used that to power that mill. But right around the year 1900 AD, that mill burnt. It was put into operation in the mid-1850s, and, well, it's not in operation anymore. It lit up. It ignited. Went past Fahrenheit 451. They say, rumor has it, that it was a case of arson. Although, I don't know. I just don't know. But regardless, that is all downriver and history. We're focused on the Vermillion Falls as we see them here, next to the Ardent Mill. Now, at one point in time, and it was part of the upper section of the falls there, the Ardent Mill was powered by the falls here as well. According to the history of the Ardent Mill, it was not the Ardent Mill back then. It actually was built, the original mill at this section of the falls was built in 1853. That's when it went up, but not in smoke like the Ramsey Mill a bit further downriver. But since it was built at around 1853, the current mill that you can see here, it has changed ownership well over 8 times. And currently, Ardent Mills is the current owner of the mill. When we were here to film this, it had rained not just a few days before, quite heavily, and so it was rather fortuitous because we got to see the waterfalls here, the Vermillion Falls, in their raging glory. Although at any given point in time, there is always a decent amount of water flowing over the Vermillion Falls. It's not like some where they seasonally trickle down to a small stream. A unique feature of this particular waterfall is just the structure around it. It's really in a bit of a crevasse, and the water as it's flowing over and the amount of it creates a continual, rather decent breeze. This makes for very interesting structures on the open rock face side of the crevasse in the wintertime, as when the blowing warmer moisture hits the frozen and often sub-zero temperature of the rock walls, the crystalline formations are an absolute marvel. We're going to see this as we migrate to the winter portion of this documentary location filming site. And just like that, it's winter time. So here we are at the upper section. And as you can see, it happened to be snowing the same day that we came and did the winter filming. Now, as you watch this portion of our waterfall documentary here at Vermillion Falls, you may notice a discrepancy from one view to another as far as the structure of the frozen formation, and the reason for that would be, as this waterfall is local to me, there is actually footage of the frozen waterfall portion that I included in the clips that I shot probably 2 or 3 years prior to this time of filming. And as I had mentioned before about that breeze, all that moisture blowing creates this kind of structure along the sides of this crevasse that we are in. And usually it stays fairly quiet in the wintertime on these waterfalls, but not here. The amount of water that is constantly flowing and the force at which it comes over the falls, it is always producing a significant amount of flowing water. So though it may be quieter than in the summertime, it, like some of the other falls that we will also visit, it is never completely quiet or even anywhere near quiet at all. This was definitely some of the footage from a previous day of filming here. And here is where that moisture creates some very, very interesting structures. You may have noticed some rope at the beginning of this short clip hanging down to the left-hand side there. Yes, that was Crazy Nick. He rappelled down the front of this. But Crazy Nick is also one of the reasons that we have some spectacular footage throughout this documentary. It is really kind of weird, but when you're actually down there filming and you can tell the difference between the warmer moisture coming from the open water, it almost feels like you're being invited to wade into a hot tub. But you have to constantly remind yourself that that would be a bad idea. That water's not hot. May seem like it. May look like it by way of comparison to all that frozen stuff. But it's not. Kind of gives you a good reference of just how much ice there is out there. And you see how small you really are. And here is what it's like to get back to that area where we're filming. You have to step carefully and kneel down around a bit of an overhang, and then it gets you into the more open area. And there you have it, everyone. This was the Vermillion Falls, located in Hastings, Minnesota. And we look forward to having you join us for part 5.